doxxed. And of course, we already know lies have been told about his GoFundMe campaign, saying they were spending it on mansions and cars, all the kind of racist tropes. If that's true, he's being mistreated, and I think that's a sort of very easy case to make. When it comes to her, however, let's assume she's also telling the truth, that she used the word. She thinks the kid was acting like one. She feels like she has the right to use that word against that small baby because of whatever age appropriate thing the kid did. If she's telling the truth and she's getting doxxed and harassed, I don't know if I want to reward her behavior with $500,000. I don't think she should be doxxed. I don't think she should be harassed. I think she has been mistreated to the extent that no one should be. You have a right to be racist. You have a right to free speech in this country. But I'm not donating money for it, and I feel a lot worse about her GoFundMe than the one for the person who's been railroaded.
Yeah, well, Lily Gaddis, you posted a defense of Shiloh on X. It's been viewed 2.5 million times, in which it was entitled, "White People Are Finally Fighting Back. Stand with Shiloh Hendricks." What did you mean by that?
What? Finally fighting back? What do you, what? So listen, if y'all don't know, like, if y'all just tuning into this clip or whatever the case, this is basically a Piers Morgan situation. Well, he invited a couple people to the panel, but what they're discussing is they're discussing a video where the white lady was calling the 5-year-old autistic kid a nigger, basically. So it's over the last few months, people been actually creating a campaign and donating money to her, donating money to her actual, her cause or whatever the case, GoFundMe's and all of this other stuff. So they're basically on here debating, whether this was cool or not, basically, and there's people endorsing this, like it's people hopping behind this and actually putting money behind this campaign because they saying that people are fighting to get the lady's kid taken from her for whatever reason. I don't know what that has to do with being racist, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like this is some wild shit right here. Like you people think that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm one of the ones who I'll sit there and tell you that racism don't exist. Racism don't exist. Bigotry and racial profiling, yes, that exists. You know what I'm saying? But racism, I don't really lean into that, a lot of the times. Now, it is some people, I guess, who are really out here who hate people because the color of their skin. It probably is. Don't know. But let's dive into this, man, because let's dive into it.
That's the thing. White people have been under attack for years. It's been systematic racism. As much as black people and people of color want to talk about systematic racism in the United States, it's quite the opposite. They get preferential treatment when it comes to getting a job, when it comes to
There was reasons for that.
Getting into colleges. White people.
There was reasons for that.
People, on the other hand, have been getting attacked relentlessly. Look at 2016 and BLM and all the riots. We just had to sit back and watch people burn down our cities and do nothing about it. So the way to fight back against essentially this anti-white hatred that's been systemically, ingrained in U.S. society is with white unity.
But how was racism systemically ingrained into this society? Who started it? Who started it? If we want to lean on racism, me, like I said, I don't lean on it because I look at it like the setup of this country was based on production, in my opinion. It just so happened that melanated people was used as the catalyst to build this shit. Or not even the catalyst, but as a tool. No different from sheep, cows, horses, pigs, chickens. They treated black people or slaves like chattel, basically. They would brand them. They would castrate them. Like, it was no difference from how they treated animals. Cows and all of that. So to me, it was more so on production. Now, at the end of the day, we are human. So can you erase that from the post-traumatic slave stress and all of that disorders and all of that? Like, can we escape that? No, because a human is a human, and human over a period of time, we gather trauma, basically. Like, we pile up trauma through our experiences, and it's generational trauma that gets passed down. So can we erase that? No. But like I said, I don't lean on the racism side of shit because, like I said, I don't think it was more so done because, like, yo, I'm gonna enslave these people, because I don't like the color of their skin. I don't like their wide noses. I don't like the way they look. So I'm gonna put them in shackles and chains. No, like I said, it was done for production. And if you go back and you rewind time, if you really look at it, a lot of the times in history, poor people who wasn't part of the royal family or the royal fold, usually would end up as slave workers because you were poor. The king would come down in the village and start picking people out and look, build this statue for me. No payment, no anything. You poor. You gonna have to do what the king say because you're not part of royal blood. That's just how it goes. And you want to fast forward it into modern day time, it's kind of still the same thing. You're not part of the clique. So a lot of the times from our standpoint as black people, we look at a lot of things as racism. To me, it's just that you're not part of the fraternity. You're not part of the clique. You feel what I'm saying? And they're not going to allow you to go and seed other communities with the money that you're making. So entertainers, actors, athletes, rappers, you know, all of that, a lot of the times your money is monitored. You can't go into communities and start empowering certain communities because what you start to do is you start to create competition. This shit is on a competitive scale. This is survival tactics at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really think it's done with the intent of saying like, yo, I don't like this skin color, let's enslave them. But let's get back to this video.